Welcome to the MPC Lounge. In this workflow tutorial, we're looking at the brand new update for MPC Live NX 2.7. This is bringing Ableton integration directly inside your MPC in standalone mode. This gives you unparalleled control over Ableton Live using MPC's unique live control mode. So to enter live control, it's very straightforward. We go to our menu button and then we go to live control. Now this takes us into our first page, which is the matrix. This enables us to look at all of the clips that are inside Ableton. We can also use our pad shortcut by holding menu and pad 4 to take us into live control. Now you will see three icons, the first being the matrix. The second is our mixer environment from Ableton. This is where we can see all of our levels, and we can control all of our individual channels, sender returns and panning. Then we have the device tab, which gives us instant visual feedback of the plugins that we have assigned to our tracks in Ableton, which we can control directly from our MPC. If you press menu again, this takes us back to our standalone mode. Within the Live Control Matrix tab, our MPC screen represents the 8x8 grid layout within Ableton. Inside Ableton, this is highlighted with a red rectangular line showing you the 8x8 grid. On MPC, we use a white 4x4, which also represents our 16 pads. Now to navigate around our 8x8 grid, we can use our pad banks to go up and down and left and right. We can also navigate in blocks of 8 by just simply holding down Shift and using our same pad banks. This is especially useful if you've populated a session with more than 8 clips per track. Now if we hold down Shift, we can go back to our original 8x8. When using MPCX with live control, to move around our matrix grid, we simply use our cursors. This allows us to navigate left and right, up and down, and again if we want to move in groups of 8, we simply hold down our Shift key. Now let's navigate back to our original 8 tracks. Within our matrix view, clips and scenes are displayed in color with their track names, mirroring the same clip names and colors used in your Ableton session view. When a clip is playing in live control, it is colored white and the playback phase is drawn with a white progress bar. When a clip is in its prepare to play phase, it will flash white until it reaches the launch quantization and then the clip will play. When a clip is preparing to record or preparing to exit a recording, it will flash red until it reaches the launch quantization boundary. And when a clip is recording, it will be colored red. Now to undo this process, simply press the undo button. Now to delete a clip is very straightforward. Simply highlight the clip and press the delete tab. To add the clip back in again, simply press undo. Now to quantize our clips is very straightforward. We have a quantize button here, and I'm going to be using one of our MIDI clips, which is running our bass line. Now as you can see on our piano roll in Ableton, as soon as I hit quantize, all of our notes are snapped to the grid. Now if you hit our settings icon, here we can change our quantize. So we have 1/16, and you can see our 1/8, our triplets, and then we can just simply select this, and then when we commit to quantize, it will snap to that grid. Now to insert a complete scene, we simply go to our Insert Scene tab. As soon as we press this, we now have a complete scene entered. Now let's press undo. Now to stop all clips playing, simply navigate down to the bottom right of your Touch UI and press the square icon. This will now stop all clips. We can also copy clips directly from our Touch UI. Simply select the clip you wish to copy, hold down Shift and press copy, and this will duplicate the clip. Now to select a clip without triggering, simply hold down the Shift button and use either the pads or the Touch UI to select your clip. As you can see, none of the clips are being triggered. This is also useful if you want to look at the type of effects that you've got assigned to your tracks whilst an arrangement is playing. Now to change the type of launch quantize that you want to use in your clips, simply go to our Touch UI and you can see it says 1 bar. And here you can select the type of launch quantize. Everything from half, quarter, 1/8, triplets, etc. Now to launch a full scene, simply tap the playhead icon on our Touch UI. And as you can see, we can jump through different scenes instantly. And again, they will flash relevant to the quantize that you've selected. We can also use our MPC Live NX hardware in live control mode to record a performance directly into the arranger in Ableton. So this is very straightforward. Now we're in our arrange window, and on MPC we simply hit record and Ableton will be armed and we start playing our clips. And as you can see, it's going to be building the arrangement based on what clips I'm launching directly from our MPC hardware in live control mode. We can also record and capture our automation changes directly from our MPC in live control mode within Ableton. So let's have a look at our drum track and automate that. So I'll expand it, then we're going to press A, which brings up our automation, and we're just going to trigger this clip. Now we're going to go to our mixer tab on our MPC hardware, and now we select our volume. And we are recording automation directly inside Ableton using MPC's Ableton Live Control. So now we've finished recording into our arrangement window, we can now go to the tracks and you can now finish your project directly in Ableton. You can just highlight each track and commit them to the arranger and then finish your project. So now let's take a close look at our mixer environment inside Live Control from our MPC hardware. So as you can see, we can see all of our track names and colors. So let's start our track, and you will see that our visual feedback on our channels is also colored relevant to our clips and tracks. Now to jump through our mixer to see our other 8 remaining channels, we simply hold down Shift and we can jump in groups of 8. This will show us some of our third-party plugins and our send and return levels and our master fader. So let's hold Shift and jump back to our original mixer layout. So there's a number of ways that we can control the volume in Live Control. So let's launch a clip, and then we double tap the track, and now we can affect this by using the data wheel or using the Touch UI, or we can actually use our Q-Link controls. And to exit out of that track, just touch the UI. Now if we go to the main tab, this is where we can activate our tracks on and off. Just simply touch the UI, turn the tracks off, and then to turn them back on again, simply touch the UI. Very straightforward. And we can solo a track, again by touching the UI. Now we also arm our tracks for record here. So as soon as we press this, it will go red, and this will enable us to record our audio and MIDI into Ableton. So let's turn the record off. Now we can also select our pan in just by double tap, and then we can use our Touch UI, or we can use our data wheel or Q-Link controls. Now on MPCX, you will see all of the visual feedback within the mixer environment on the OLEDs. This will give you the track volume data directly on the first 8, and then to jump to your next 8, simply hold down the Shift and press your right cursor. Here you can see your master, your sender returns, and the third-party plugins we were using. Now let's go to our final tab, which is Sends, And here we can see all of our sends across our channels. Now, as you can see in Ableton, as we select our send channels, we have a reverb assigned and we have a delay plugin. So let's start using our sends from our live control. Now let's start a track playing. Now I'll select the track I want to affect, and I can use the data wheel or double tap, and that will bring up my send. And as you can see, it's sending the level into the reverb. Let's come at that and use our delay, and we do the same thing. Now I'm sending delay to this track. We can also select the crossfade by selecting A or B.